Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from around the world. Cycling, tennis, even wrestling, all that and more coming up. But we begin with football and a crazy match day in the Premier League. 9 goals, 2 of them scored just 3 minutes into the game. Another 5 scored within 10 minutes. A player who was supposed to be out for 6 weeks but scores a goal after just 35 seconds, and all that in just 1 game. Everton 3, Chelsea 6. That was the final score in Goodison Park in one of the craziest matches we have seen in years. Diego Costa was said to be injured, but scored within the first minute and added 1 in the last minute. 4 more Chelsea goals came in between. Samuel Eto'o scored 1 for Everton against his former club, but it was not enough. It may be a result we don't usually see, but Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho thinks we should not really be surprised.
They play to win, they play to score. We play to win, we play to score. So when you have 2 teams like our teams, it's possible to happen lots of goals.
We always felt that we were very, very, very strong, and now we need to focus and get back to basics and make sure that as a team we can start building games with having a solid outlook about our performance, something that unfortunately in the last 3 games hasn't been the case.
Chelsea's main rival in the championship race is supposed to be Manchester City. Just like the Blues, the Citizens won their first 2 matches, but the third one was far from lucky. The current champions lost to Stoke City at home. Mama Diouf scored for the visitors in the second half. City pressed forward but just could not find the net, and we already have one of the biggest surprises of the season. Despite that, manager Manuel Pellegrini finds no reason for panic.
Always serious to lose 3 points here at home. It was very important for our team to try to win the 9 points before the international breaks. It's not good to finish this, to start this international break with a defeat, but these games always happen once a year. Happens today to our team, and we are continue playing the same or working the same way we are doing from now.
It was important, the game today. Either way, I always sensed that this was a game that was going to kickstart our season in terms of what was required today. We needed a real purposeful performance and a performance of determination and real character. And that's what we got.
And it should not come as a surprise anymore that Manchester United have no victories yet this season. 3 games on and the disappointments just keep on coming. We'll see that on the screen. This time it's a goalless draw in Burnley. Angel Di Maria played 70 minutes. He was not bad, but not good enough, and the Red Devils have only 2 points out of 9. When you add the humiliating defeat in the Champions in the League Cup, we can already ask questions about Louis van Gaal. In another interesting result, Welsh team Swansea made it 3 out of 3 when they beat West Bromwich at home. Arsenal, Tottenham and Liverpool all play on Sunday. Going into the short 1-week break, 2 teams lead the Premier League. Chelsea, as you could expect, and Swansea are also there with 9 points. Manchester City are behind after their surprising loss. And where are Manchester United? Nowhere to be seen among the top 10. The team from Old Trafford is only at 14th place. It was a tough weekend for the champions in England, and not an easy one for the German champions either. Bayern Munich, with their latest transfer, Xabi Alonso, only managed a point away against Schalke. Michael Friedman with a story.
Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, who signed Real Madrid midfielder Xabi Alonso, traveled to Schalke. A beautiful play early on set up Robert Lewandowski for his first official goal as a Bayern Munich player. Despite outpossessing Schalke throughout the game, an equalizer just after the hour would leave the match level. Appeals were made for a handball as the ball came off the Schalke skipper's arm, but the referee Marco Fritz decided the clearance struck Howitz accidentally, and therefore the goal stood. 1-1 was the final score, and Bayern Munich missed out on 2 points, but the focus was mostly on the new transfer.
The first 25 minutes, Xabi Alonso was fantastic. He knows his position well. His last 2 days were difficult. Coming here, having a medical check, back to Madrid, and then back here. Last night, he met his teammates for the first time. He played well, but now we have 2 weeks to train well with him and the other players in Munich and focus on the next game.
Well, from one side, really happy to be part of Bundesliga, to have that this great experience. For me, it's a big challenge. After enjoying the La Liga, after enjoying the Premier League, it was a big step to come here to Bundesliga, to be part of such a big club as Bayern Munich. So many things that motivate myself, and of course, really happy to be here. And today we could have had better result, but it's going to be the first day, and for sure we will keep improving.
Turning now to France, another place where the defending champions have been struggling early on. Paris Saint-Germain won just one over the 3 matches so far, the other 2 ending in a draw. PSG have been plagued by injuries at this early stage. Team leaders Thiago Silva and Zlatan Ibrahimovic both had to miss some matches. The good news for the Paris club is that the Swedish striker is now set to be back to the squad for the match tonight at home against Saint-Etienne. Bordeaux is the only team so far with a perfect record in France. They will try to keep it when they host Bastia tonight. Last night, Marcelo Bielsa and Marseille showed how much potential there is in this team when they beat Nice 4-0, and it continues to be a very slow season for Monaco, who only managed a 1-0 draw at home against Lille. Radamel Falcao did not take part in the game, and rumors in France say he's on his way to Real Madrid on the final day of the transfer window. Second match day is also underway in La Liga, and the champions finally have a win. After dropping 2 points in the season opener, this time Atletico Madrid beat Eibar 2-1 at home. Miranda and Mandzukic with the goals. First win of the season also for Valencia, who beat Malaga 3-0. 4 more matches coming up tonight in Spain. Barcelona, without injured Andres Iniesta, will travel to the Madrigal to face Villarreal. And Real Madrid, without Ronaldo, who was left out of the squad, will face Real Sociedad. Now to tennis. The first week of the US Open is almost over, and at least on the men's side, there are no major dramas. All the big names are through, and out of all those big names, there's not even one American. Yes, the good old days of Connors and McEnroe, Agassi and Sampras are long gone. Michael Friedman and Shai Ben-Ari with a report.
World number 1 Novak Djokovic made it clear why he is the top-ranked player in tennis. The Serbian demolished the American Sam Querrey in straight sets 6-3, 6-2, 6-2, and it only took him an hour and 25 minutes.
Going back to the clay court season, had an injury that didn't know with the risks how far it's going to stay there. If it's going to be an obstacle for me to play Roland Garros, and that has taken a lot of energy from me emotionally. Then Roland Garros, obviously, losing another final against Nadal, but then bouncing back and winning Wimbledon the way I wanted and becoming number 1, and then a few days later, a wedding. So all these things together are very overwhelming in every way. Of course, they gave me a lot of positive energy, but again, it was very demanding.
There weren't any problems either for Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, who just won the Toronto Open 2 weeks ago. The Frenchman won in straight sets 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 in an hour and 54 minutes. Tsonga faced Spaniard Pablo Carreno Busta, who's ranked 74th in the world.
I mean, it's never a good time to play Andy, but for me, it's the best time to play against him, just because I'm feeling better than a few months ago, so that's a good time for me.
His next match will probably be much more challenging. Tsonga is set to face the winner of the 2012 US Open. Andy Murray got through to the 4th round after a win against Andrei Kuznetsov in 4 sets, 6-1, 7-5, 4-6, 6-2.
Well, I've had a lot of close matches with him, but I've won a lot against him as well. So yeah, I mean, I would say it matches that well, but he's obviously playing extremely well just now. And yeah, I'm aware that it's going to be a very, very tricky match.
Finally, Milos Raonic, ranked 6th in the ATP, defeated Victor Burgos in an extremely lit match in the 3rd round of the Open. Yes, it was a straight set win, but it was as tough as it could be with all 3 sets going to a tiebreak.
It was a lot of fun, the atmosphere aspect of it. It's nice when you get into that sort of feeling and how that energy coming from outside of the court. It doesn't matter really which way. Just makes it that much more exciting.
The Canadian won in 3 sets, 7-6, 7-6, 7-6. He will face Kei Nishikori in the 4th round at Flushing Meadows.
So while the men's side of the draw is progressing according to what most people expected, the women's tournament looks completely different. The 4th seed Agnieszka Radwanska lost as early as the 2nd round. 2nd seed Simona Halep survived one more round, but left the tournament on Friday. And last night they were joined by the number 3 Petra Kvitova. Winner of Wimbledon just 2 months ago is out. She was beaten by world number 145 Aleksandra Krunic from Serbia in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4.
I still cannot believe I won against Madison, and right now I won against Petra, and it's like so many things happening in my mind, and I cannot say I'm trying to stay on the ground, because I don't think it's ever gonna happen to me that I'm gonna, change or whatever, but I'm just, I'm trying to believe it, but then okay, when I believe it, I'm afraid that I'm gonna have so much emotions that, so I'm trying to keep it all together. My coach is already, screaming and jumping, but I'm trying to stay away from him so I don't listen to him.
Cycling now, and we go straight to stage number 8 of the Tour of Spain, the Vuelta de España. It was 207 kilometers long, the longest stage of this year's race, from Baeza to Albacete. There were plenty of ups and downs along the road, but at the end, a group of nearly 30 riders came into Albacete practically together, which meant a very tight sprint to the finish line. French rider Nasser Bouhanni had the lead. Australian Michael Matthews tried to overtake him from the left, but Bouhanni made the little move, which kept Matthews away and allowed him to claim the 2nd stage of this year's Vuelta after winning stage 2 as well. The overall leader with the red jersey is still the local hero Alejandro Valverde. Cycling is, of course, not only a competitive sport, but it's also a popular pastime and a means of transportation. This is, of course, very encouraging, but it also comes with a risk, as more and more cyclists take on the road jammed with cars and trucks. London, on the other hand, shows us that it's possible to have more bicycles on the street and yet avoid a higher number of casualties. How do they do that in the British capital? Here's one example.
London on a sunny day, and Craig, like thousands of others across the city, is on his bike. But considering a recent accident, it's a wonder he's back in the saddle at all.
About a year and a half ago, I was cycling to work in the morning and got hit by a taxi just over my shoulder here. I put my head through the back window, smashed it and smashed my face. Ended up getting about 250 stitches through my head. Yeah, but luckily just a scar, nothing else damaged.
Craig admits the accident was his fault. He jumped a red light and was relatively lucky. Transport for London states that over the past decade there have been around 14 cycling fatalities every year on the streets of the capital.
There's obviously an influx of new cyclists, inexperienced cyclists, using what are already quite congested roads.
Lorries make up less than 4% of vehicles in London, but are involved in over half of cycling deaths. Charlie Lloyd was a lorry driver for 20 years and is now a staunch campaigner for safer cycling.
Lorries are designed to work off-road and they're bringing them into city streets. And the drivers are sometimes 2 metres, 2.5 metres up in the air, and they just can't see what's around them.
That's why the police are encouraging cyclists to jump off their saddles and climb behind the wheel of a lorry to see the world from the driver's perspective.
Sitting inside the lorry and actually seeing what they see, even with their kind of extra mirrors and things like that, it's quite startling.
London's Mayor Boris Johnson hopes this increased awareness will make the British capital safer for cyclists.
We're spending about £1 billion now on all sorts of cycling infrastructure. But there's a cultural shift going on as well. People are starting to understand that London is a cycling city. You're going to see a lot more bikes on the streets.
The number of cyclists on London's roads has more than doubled since 1999, with around 212 million journeys made last year alone. Despite this, the number of fatalities has remained more or less the same, a reflection that London's roads are getting safer. But each death is a tragedy. These so-called ghost bikes mark the spot where a cyclist has been killed. A silent reminder for cyclists and motorists to take care on London's roads.
And now, just before we say goodbye, we'll remind you that sports, as we have learned in the past, can promote change, can even bring peace. Can it happen in North Korea? It's a long road ahead, of course, but maybe this is the first stage. Pro wrestlers, some from the United States and Japan, participated this weekend in a wrestling event in the North Korean capital, Pyongyang. We don't usually see Americans and Japanese in this country, and their presence was a major source of interest. Judging by the reactions on the street, there is definitely room for relations to improve. And that's it for us today. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day.